And so many people jumped on saying he's not a real doctor. Okay. Where did you graduate from and you got your PhD?
My undergraduate education was from Millersville University. 3 degrees, political science, psychology, master's in school psychology. Subsequent to that, Pennsylvania certification as a school psychologist, which I've been for almost 20 years. After that, I got my educational leadership master's degree and principal certificate from Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And I earned my doctorate degree from the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, American Psychological Association approved program, one of the top psychology training programs on the East Coast. 6 degrees in all. And anyone can lift up a telephone and call and verify those degrees.
What's up, man? This your boy, Oski Sunghai, once again with the information, you know what I'm saying? I saw people's thoughts on Dr. Umar Johnson and the Tariq Nasheed, and I want to say that, you know, it's fine. Not everyone's going to wake up. Y'all got to understand that these dudes is agents, and they operate under agent-like shit. You know what I'm saying? Umar was supposed to build the school. He has over $700,000. He has not built shit. 1 minute is 2018. 1 minute is 2019. Watch it be 2022. You know what I'm saying? So it's always something with him. And he's being watched hard body. And I saw that he beat the case. You know what I'm saying?
This is the evidence. 2 clips from my Breakfast Club interview 2 and 3 and a screenshot from my 2014 website. They show no evidence of me having conducted a single evaluation, a single therapy session. They can't find any evidence of me having ever performed any work as a clinical psychologist except under the supervision of a clinical psychologist.
You know, he didn't really beat the case because he really don't have a, you know, a doctorate. He don't really have he has no PhD. He's a liar. He's a fraud. So he never showed it. You know, and the colleges that in which he said to go look up his credentials, them colleges said he never heard of this nigga.
And he received this document, which is an order to show cause back in August. And what was the orders on? Let's read the motherfucking factual allegations. Number 1, respondent has never held an authorization to practice a profession or occupation issued by the State Board of Psychology. Factual allegation number 2, at all times pertinent to the factual allegations, respondent did not hold a license to practice as a psychologist in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Don't even, you know, so I'm gonna leave it at that. So, you know, I'm gonna let these dudes feel like this dude is actually for the people when he's not. He's not for the people. He's not even for himself. You know what I'm saying? He's down with the fraternity that makes sure that, you know, black people stay stagnant. So they make up these lies and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna leave that at that. Moving on. We're going to be talking about MK Ultra. All right. Now this is a part 1 to a part 2. Because the MK Ultra is a part of something that they have to do. So what do I mean by that, right? When they induce the before they induce the MK Ultra fully, they have to give them, or the particular patient drugs. Now, which patient would I be talking about in this particular instance? I'm talking about celebrities. I'm talking about Hollywood people. I'm talking about, you know, Hollywood stars. You know what I'm saying? People you see on your TV every day. This is what happens to them.
But it's been a heck of a ride, to be honest. I really can't complain. Yeah, I was kind of I was a little down when I found out I was injured and I had to have surgery again, or you know, with another knee. But at the end of the day, you know, I have amazing teammates. You know, guys like Draymond, everybody on this team, they come over there, they wrap their hands around me like, yo.
You also have to understand that MK Ultra got underway in 1953. Okay, this is when it was first tested. As far as it being documented, you know what I'm saying? It's been documented that it was first tested in 1953. And what they will do to the patients is they'll give them drugs, right? One of the drugs that they gave them was, for example, LSD, right? They give them many drugs before they gave them LSD, but they gave them marijuana, they gave them heroin. They give them a whole bunch of stuff to fuck up their mind. So when they do what I'm about to tell you next, then they can reprogram their mind to a particular point where they either want them to do something or they can forget about something.
Between the bodies
exactly.
in junior high.
Yes, like they say in Catholic school, leave room for the Holy Ghost. Anyway, there is a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today, Elvis Presley passed away, the king of rock and roll. And as Mark Cohn says in his great song, Walking in Memphis, there's a pretty little thing,
You know, that the patient has done. You know what I'm saying? And this happens to eight. Actually, it's been documented too that the MK Ultra has been tried on the government's own agents.
The drug was administered in a drink of water given at the start of each day's exercise. 25 minutes later, the first effects of the drug became apparent. The men began to relax and to giggle. But this man was more seriously affected and had to be removed from the exercise. After 35 minutes, one of the radio operators had become incapable of using his set, and the efficiency of the rocket launcher team was also very impaired.
People not saying that, you know, it don't matter. It's happening to the people that was testing it. You know what I'm saying? It was happening to doctors, it was happening to agents, it was happening to police officers, it was happening to everybody. So you're seeing how big this is, you know what I'm saying? So, who would they most likely use this on though? Right? See, in 1953, when they was first using it, they was using it on prostitutes. You know, drug dealers, bums. You know what I'm saying? Just like how they use heroin, the first time they used heroin, they used it on the U.S. soldiers during the Vietnam War. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that they use this on people first. You know, before they build up the full consensus of what they want to do, they first have to do a little by little. So they gave them drugs like LSD. Like I said, before that they gave them weed and heroin and other shit. But they gave them LSD. The correct term for it is LSD-25, right? If you really want to take it, lysergic acid diethylamide. Okay, remember that. Lysergic acid diethylamide. Now, it has a acidic base, right? Now, this is why white people are more hooked on this particular drug more than your average melanated being, because white people are primarily acidic. When you look at the melanin molecule, the middle of the or the melanin molecule, what is pushing the melanin molecule of a white person, it is an acidic base. It's sulfuric acid. You see what I'm saying? White people have melanin, but it's in the inside. It's not on the epidermis level, which is, you know, on the skin. So they have melanin, but it's only in the inside. So, and some white people may have more melanin in the inside than you, surprisingly, right? So moving on. This is why they're very addicted to drugs and shit. You know what I'm saying? But it also has to do with other things. But particularly in this case, it's LSD, right? LSD-25. For the common term. So what happens is they give these patients, prostitutes and shit, LSD. So you got people like Cardi B, who was a stripper. You got people like you know, Game, you know, the Game, who was said to be a gay stripper, who will be or who has been put under these situations where they are being mind controlled to do certain things, such as cause drama, you know, cause fights.
On the other side was the CIA, who was above all interested in psychological manipulation. Their goal was to create an infallible truth serum, wipe memories, turn humans into robots, and program them to kill.
And so on and so forth. But, like, again, this is only a part one to how they do that. Because it's not just, you know, MK Ultra is only a part of the second part of how these people become, you know what I'm saying, inhuman. Because this is what it is. When you're under this MK Ultra shit, you become a robot. You know, but you become a vessel for the robot. You know what I'm saying?
Can you take us through what happened with the play with Jason Terry?
What play?
You ran off the court and hugged him and
really? I
gave it the layup.
I didn't remember that.
You didn't know they were inbound the ball?
What play you talking about?
In the first half, you ran off the court and hugged Jason Terry, and Snell got a layup because you were off the floor.
I Oh, I didn't know I was in the game. My bad.
What's with the ski mask?
Kind of, it's my alter ego. So I just, you know, it was a gift from Ohio State. So I figure why not.
Does your alter ego have a name?
Yeah.
What is it?
I can't tell you.
So when you have the MK Ultra mind control, you become a vessel. You know what I'm saying? But something has to control you in order for the mind control to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the chip. And I'm going to get to that. Like I said, but first, before we get to that, they use these different type of drugs in order to break down your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because if they don't break down your mind properly enough, then the whole mind control is not going to work, and it's going to break. And then you're going to see, you know, people break out of it like Wendy Williams or many people are broken out of the MK Ultra. You know what I'm saying? People are broken out of MK Ultra like Katy Perry.
And like, I so badly want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes. And like, that is a little bit of why I cut my hair, is because I really want to be my authentic self, like 100%. And so it hurts, you know, when...
And Wendy Williams. These people wake up and don't know where the fuck they at. That's why Wendy Williams was touching her hair and shit, because she didn't know where she was at. Because when you're under this mind control, something else is, there's another vessel controlling you. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just, you know, what people say, you know, the average person says. I'm going to give you the full detail. But before I do, I have to give you the part one. What happens is they give them drugs, you know what I'm saying, to break down their mind. And then they become a vessel for the person whom wants to control them, right? They're no longer the same person, you know what I'm saying? They get break down to a T, you know what I'm saying? To a T.
So, I'm sorry. I was in a trance.
To a T. And this is what happened. And they use LSD drugs in order to have sex with. Well, when you take LSD and you go into a dream state, you're able to go into certain realms and certain density levels.
Is that correct? No. Well, somehow or other, I think that I'd like to rescue myself from the idea that there's so many different realities here.
So these dudes is having like priests who's within these you know, fraternities or boule or whatever you want to call them inside Hollywood, and they take them to a place within their mind or within the ethereal realm while they're taking LSD and make them have sex with certain beings. You know what I'm saying? And this is what happens. They have sex with certain beings or certain gods or certain entities. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to do this. They have sex with certain entities in order to get energy. But in reality, they're not getting energy. They're losing energy. So this is what happens. And they take the drugs in order to do this. And while they're inducing these drugs, before they even go into the sleep state, they also have to use electric shock and shit like that. And torture. Heavy torture. And the pain has to be up to the point where the brain can take it. And once that happens, then that's when they're pretty much, certain parts of their memory shuts down. You know what I'm saying? Due to how much pain and how much electric shock they get. Once you electrically shock somebody, you can actually help them, or not really help them, but you will make them lose their memory to a certain extent, because your brain is nothing more than electrical impulses mixing with magnetism in order for you to manifest. You know what I'm saying? Electricity and magnetism. You know, magnetism is will, electricity is your thoughts. So you have to, this is what they do. They destroy your will and they create the will for you. You know what I'm saying? So, again, this also, the LSD also, when they was administering these drugs to these patients and prostitutes and their own agents, right? You have to understand that they was also going against the number code, which is to not to not do certain treatments or certain procedures on certain people that if they didn't allow it, or if they didn't want it to happen. So you have, you know, so they're going against their own codes, and this happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? This is what's going on. This is only a part 1 to the part 2 that I'm gonna be bringing up. They use LSD to make you a vessel. I mean, they use MK Ultra to make you a vessel, and the LSD is to put you in the dream world when you go into the sleep realm. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to have sex with these gods and shit like that, and these different entities, and these, you know, extraterrestrials, because every Hollywood superstar talk about they're an extraterrestrial.
And try not to let stuff bother you as much as possible, but it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human still. But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
It's no coincidence. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why they say they're an extraterrestrial. It's no coincidence. They're not just saying that. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why that these niggas turn into reptilians and shit like that, different dimensional beings. I'm gonna tell you how that happens, because these people, these rappers and shit, they're no longer them. You know what I'm saying? Drake, or Kendrick Lamar, should I say, is no longer Kendrick Lamar. Beyonce is no longer Beyonce. That's somebody else. That she's just a vessel that's looking like Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? And then there's clones, in order so y'all won't know the difference. So again, I'm gonna get into the chips on part 2, and I'm gonna get into all this other shit. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned. BLACKBOOKT.V, Oski Songhai.
Last year wasn't a fluke for us. You know, we're here, we're for real, and we're for real team.
Speaking of showing us, 2 Chainz, you got a shot, 2 Chainz? Got a shot, let me see that shot, dog. Speaking of showing us, 2 Chainz, trap now. Got a shot, speaking of showing us, 2 Chainz, you got, speaking of showing us, 2 Chainz, you got a shot, 2 Chainz? Got a shot, let me see that shot, dog.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Oski Songhai. Really appreciate the people who's been subscribing to me, the 270. Highly appreciate you guys. Please keep sharing my videos and just sharing my knowledge or whatever have you. Please look at the Cynocephaly video. I have 83 views. I highly appreciate the people who's been watching. Please keep watching. Even the Gavin Whalen and the Kid Boo one, you know, I highly appreciate the likes, highly appreciate the dislikes. Either way, I just love the love. Please keep sharing, please keep putting out this information. My next video will be dealing with stars having water on it. Yes, stars having water on it. So please subscribe. This is Oski Songhai. Peace.